Do you explore the old world? I wanted to invite you to join me in one of my explorations, just to give you a sneak peek at the type of things I come across. So this is a file of courthouses in Ohio. I just can't get out of the American Midwest for some reason. It just keeps pulling me back in. And something I do is collect these images. It's sort of a downtime pastime of mine that I've worked into my channel, or turned into a channel, because I felt so compelled to share so many of these images with others. So this is just a sneak peek at the types of things I come across. So we're just scrolling right now through courthouses by county in Ohio. And so many of them are so breathtaking, really. And I really felt like sharing some of this would be important, just to give people a snapshot of what we're dealing with here and how vast the old world architecture really is. And as I'm going through these, I get to some of them that just really make me scratch my head, and I have to dig a little bit deeper. Really quite spectacular, aren't they? So I get to this one. This is Wood County. And I decide to take a closer look. So I type it in on the Wikipedia. And what do I find? I find an architectural firm involved with the construction of it. So let's click on that. We have two individuals here, Joseph W. Yost and Frank Packard. And they give us the time that they worked together, 1892 to 1899. So we've got a 7-year period of collaboration between these two architects. We'll look at the collaboration first, and then we'll get into their individual works. We'll just scroll through here with what the Wikipedia gives us. This is the Yost character and the Packard character. And now we'll just roll through some of their architectural works that are listed here on Wikipedia. And I've just resized the window so you can see whatever write-up they provide here on Wikipedia. So remember, 7 years these two gentlemen collaborated, and now we're going to be looking at the structures attributed to their work. And you tell me, is it plausible, feasible, believable that all of this architecture could have been drawn up within such a short period of time? I don't believe it is, but that's me being the skeptic, often accused of wearing the tinfoil hat and being conspiratorial about everything I look at, but I'm just a natural skeptic, and I think these things don't add up. So you tell me in the comment section if it's believable, or if what we're seeing is a bunch of old world architecture just being attributed to a couple of I won't say phantom architects, but I don't doubt that they were real people. I just think a lot of this architecture is being thrust upon these individuals, explained away. Much like the H.H. Richardson character that I took a closer look at with Matthew from Marvelous Old World. I'll put that link in the description. He goes pretty in depth on H.H. Richardson. It makes me wonder, why don't we see these characters celebrated in similar fashion in the world of architecture? Celebrated like H.H. Richardson gets so much glory. You're looking right now at all these structures attributed to these two gentlemen, and I don't think it's any lesser of a feat than Richardson pulled off with the buildings listed to him. And some of these buildings have been featured in my videos in the past. I've covered quite a few locations in Ohio. This one's quite spectacular. This one was chopped off and leveled off at the top. And you can check out this Wikipedia page for yourself, and it lists off the years that these structures were supposed to have been designed by this architectural firm. But you're seeing that the old world signature is on all of these structures, making it very difficult for me to believe that these were designed and built all within that short period of time. This is the Orton Hall. I featured this as well in one of my videos. I think maybe one of the first ones they did together. And they're lumping all sorts of churches, university buildings, courthouses. They're painting them all with that same brush, saying these two gentlemen. What did they have? Templates that they could just recycle and modify? This one is quite something. I've never seen anything like this roof here. Built in 1895, we're told. And then of course there's the building of the structure after it's been designed that rarely gets any mention at all, really, in these attributions. We're still in that long list of collaborated structures. You can see how these buildings look like they've been around for a long time as a part of the infrastructure. YMCAs, of course, you have to build them like that. You got an architect, a board architect, they just weren't busy enough, they had to throw in a YMCA. High schools, getting all sorts of architectural flair back in the day. There's the courthouse that led us to these individuals. I'm moving fairly quickly because there's a lot to cover here, and I just want to prove my point, I suppose. Oddfellows Home for orphans, indigent, and aged. Of course. Like these people must have been unbelievably busy to be able to pull all this off. I hope you can understand my skepticism, even if you're not a student of the old world, let's say. Hope you can appreciate my skepticism. Alright, so that's the collaboration. Let's take a look at their individual works. And just quickly here, this is the list that we just went through on the visuals. You can see the dates for many of the years that they were completed. So many of them are demolished. Check that out. Demolished, demolished, demolished. Some of them don't even have dates. So they can't even figure out when they were built. What's the deal with that? You know, bad record keeping? Is that what that's supposed to mean? Anyway, let's look at Yost. So here we have Joseph W. Yost. They give us a birth date and a death date, so that's good. They got enough information to give us that. They give us his professional career, and they tell us really a bare bones story. It starts to read almost like a AI template when you look at these a little bit closer. Born in Clarington, yada yada yada. That's it for his early life, and then we get into that professional. He just made a decision to move to his firm to Columbus, and then all of a sudden we get his individual works. And I won't be able to scroll in the same way, but you can check out this this Wikipedia page. I'm just going to try and bring up the visuals as I can. So this is his individual works before he gets involved with Packard. And you can see we've got a courthouse, another courthouse, another courthouse, another courthouse. So he got good at making these courthouses before they collaborated. And maybe that's what it was. He just he could do it in his sleep. He must have been doing it in his sleep to be able to pull off all this work in such a short period of time. And in the spare time, he's putting together churches, stone churches. He must have had a firm grasp of the sacred geometry. Alright, so that's just a taste of his individual works. Now let's look at Packard. Now Yost the older of the two, so Packard's individual works, much of it coming after the two of them collaborate. You can look through his life and career if you like. They had no children, that's always the case too, so no descendants, nobody to speak to their actual existence. That happens quite often. You'd be surprised. Oh, I've skipped to the bottom. Let's get back up to his individual projects, and then we have quite a long list here. Again, I'll take you through some of them. And again, they are looking like, ooh, look at this, an elementary school looking like a courthouse. You sure that's not a courthouse? Maybe they just used a template of a courthouse for this elementary school. There's probably a courthouse that looks exactly like that somewhere. And you have these looking, getting into the early 1900s now. Many of them you have to search up a little bit more in depth, so this is just a quick look. Savings and trust building, getting into the high-rise end of things, of course, as you would into the early 1900s. The Charles Lindbergh House. There's no small feat. None of these are a small feat whatsoever. These are spectacular structures. Definitely getting into the high-rise category here. So what it feels like to me, the way I look at this with my skeptical old world glasses, is that you have two figures that are being credited with designing all of these old world structures that have been there much longer than they're telling us. You have them collaborating, which allows them to pump out a very large amount in a shorter period of time. And then you have the younger going on to continue creating these types of structures. So I just think, from my perspective, that this is a way for the inheritors, the controllers of the narrative, to hide a lot of the old world structures under the names of these two individuals who may or may not have existed. Possibly did. I'm not saying they didn't exist. If they did, I'm sure they were part of the right organizations to have their names go down in time as legendary figures in the world of architecture. And if you think this is an anomaly, I encourage you to do your own research. Take a look at some of these courthouses. Check out the architect that's attributed to the design of the building, and let me know what you think. All right, thanks for watching.